In the past year, we have seen many new front-page games with many new records, plenty of them being brain rot games. Brain rot became a huge trend, and with that, Plants vs. Brain Rots was made. Right now, it holds the top 4 place for highest peak player count. This game had a very strong start, quickly getting one of the top spots on the top playing now page. But just 3 months later, it is no longer able to average even a tenth of player count it had back in October. When it was just getting its big popularity, it felt like it would become as big as Grow a Garden or Steal a Brain Rot. And it did really good at first, going from 10 to 500,000 average player count in just 2 weeks. And then not too long after that, it reached its peak player count. And Plants vs. Brain Rots also have gotten 150 million unique players to ever join it. Pretty big, you know. The game basically took the biggest games, which are Grow a Garden and Steal a Brain Rot, and fused them with Plants vs. Zombies. You got plants which can grow big and have mutations, and you got brain rots which, similar to Steal a Brain Rot, randomly appear, but in this case, your plants need to shoot them for you to get them. I think you probably know the gameplay already, as simple as buy better plants to get better brain rots for more money for even better plants, and so on. Unlike Plants vs. Zombies, it doesn't really require any strategies from you. It's all about luck, and luck-based stuff is very popular on Roblox. There really isn't many games where you can progress and become better without any RNG. The Forge, Bee Swarm Simulator, 99 Nights in the Forest, Blocks Fruits, and many more all use RNG in some way that can help the player. And I mean, we had an entire trend with games that had RNG in their name. And in Plants vs. Brain Rots, RNG is used everywhere. Brain rots that spawn, the shop restocks, how good the plant you planted will grow, and whatever else. There are multiple things in this game that helped it to become so popular in the first place. And now, as time has shown, there are also multiple things which now are making people quit this game. Let's talk about updates. The reason game did good at first is because updates felt more fresh since the game was still very new. But with time, it felt like they started to just copy previous updates more. Here's an example. Check how this season pass is made. 3 quests with 3 difficulties, and they refresh daily. Now, if we go back to Part 1 Christmas update, the main thing about it was pretty much a copy of Season Pass. Besides quests, both got tokens with which you buy different things in the shops. And what about the latest update the game has gotten while I was making this video? It's not exactly good either. The entire point of it is for you to bring seeds and mutate them to make your plants better. The problem? It's completely free, and in fact, you get rewarded for upgrading your plants. There is just no challenge at all. You get free upgrades and rewards on top of that. And I will say that updates are the main reason as to why the game is dying out. The updates just do not entertain the players who are mostly kids, so they choose to play a different game instead. And another thing is that even the holidays did not help this game, and it was still going down pretty fast. If there is no actual challenge in the update, less people will really bother because getting free stuff and upgrades is fun, but at one point it just gets boring, and the other updates just feel repetitive. Proof of that being the player count. But besides updates, obviously there are other things that made people quit, let's say pay to win. I mentioned Season Pass earlier, so let's go back to it. The pass itself might not look bad, pretty generic for a Roblox game. But as I also mentioned earlier, there are tokens which are used for the Season Pass shop. Some of you might have already noticed the questionable pricing here, like for example, why does this potion cost 400 tokens and card pack 250 tokens, yet the potion is cheaper in Robux? Doesn't make sense, right? Or this grenade which costs only 50 tokens less than cart D-pack, but is much cheaper for Robux. And then you got this hot cocoa which boosts 1 plant, I repeat, 1 plant for 30 seconds, and it costs 100 tokens, or 49 Robux for a boost that does pretty much nothing, because you got not 1 but 35 plants on your field. One of the most useful things you can get is this crate since it gives you plants. And yes, getting the 1% plant would be hard, but at least you actually get the chance without Robux. And there are plenty of free-to-play plants in the plant shop. And what's actually good is that they do get pretty strong. even stronger than some Robux ones. According to Fandom Wiki, the Brussels sprouts got base damage per second of almost 20,000, which is noticeably better than the limited firework plant in Robux shop. Although the odds of one being in stock are pretty hardcore, 1 in 10,000 chance according to the same wiki, which takes about 35 days on average, so I guess you can just consider buying it with Robux at this point. And on the topic of Robux plants, there has been many more added to the Robux shop compared to before. Right now, there is the same Robux plant I mentioned, but also a Robux loot box with a 1 in 200 Robux plant in it. And there is one for brainrots too, but unlike plants, they are not really worth it. But in general, the game did get more Robux products than it had before, and I think it's pretty obvious many do not like it when a game gets more pay to win. And I do have to mention the fact that brainrot itself is slowly starting to lose popularity. Steal a brainrot, the biggest brainrot game, is slowly losing players, and in general brainrot games seem to get at least a bit less players. But that doesn't mean brainrot doesn't get people's interest. This game called Escape Tsunami for brainrots is doing insane, breaking 1 million player mark as I was editing this video. But anyway, Plants vs. Brainrots is dying out so fast because of how it's handled. Here's another brainrot game called Brainrot Evolution. It has been out for much longer, yet we don't see player count drop much, because they actually seem to be able to handle this game well. And now back to Plants vs. Brainrots. I think you understand what I mean. I, just like many others, first tried it right when it reached front page, and honestly it felt like it had more potential, but just ended up turning into a pretty repetitive update mess, sort of. And the group for this game has like 40 developers in it. And honestly, the quality in this game is actually pretty decent. Brainrots are pretty detailed and all got animations. The same with Plants. And it does take a decent bit to pull that off, so the developers who work on designs and animations for them are pretty good with it. But no matter how high quality you make a game, if the gameplay content is boring, players will quit. Just a few days ago, Jandel, the owner of this game, made a statement. Here he mentions that working on games isn't just for numbers, he loves to work with the community and so on. And they are also apparently expanding the team for Plants vs. Brainrots. Honestly, a quick look at the graph doesn't really give any hopes of this game making a comeback. It feels more like that it will get abandoned in the next 3 months or something. But if Jandel and the team behind this game somehow manage to bring at least some players back, I'd give them an applause for pulling that off. But for now, we're left with a game that is actively losing players every week, a game that won't last much longer. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I plan to make a Q&A video once the channel hits 25,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate that. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. You can play our game or join my Discord server with links in description, and I will see you soon.